Good afternoon, everyone. We meet once again for our brief encounter from the North Miami Beach Public Library. Today, in English Cafe, I thought we might talk about cars. Automobiles are definitely necessary, and not too many people know what the parts or components of an automobile are in English. So we're going to go over some of them. Of course, not all of them because I don't know all of them, but the most common ones we'll want to get acquainted with, learn what they mean, learn what they are, and of course, how to pronounce them. Okay? So we have two ways of saying the name of this object: automobile, automobile, and cars. Very simple, cars. For once, we pronounce the A as A. Cars. You better get acquainted with this guy, or woman perhaps. This guy you have to get to know, you have to trust him, and make friends with him. You're going to need him from time to time. Hopefully not too much. The mechanic. There are many types of automobiles, sports, trucks, you name it. But I'd say these would be the most common for us. Common. Sedan. This one's 4 doors. It's a family car. And of course a very popular, called for short SUV, which is Sports Utility Vehicle. Vehicle, as in car, as in automobile, is another way of saying this item. Right here, this is a vehicle as well. Okay? So these we're going to talk about a little bit. Now, of course, the skeleton is called the chassis of a car. It's where you put everything on top of this to make the car, and the engine. Very important items. These two musts for an automobile. Oh, excuse me. Tires. You need the rubber tires. And you also need a wheel. The wheel goes inside the tire so that it rotates. This is the inside panel of the left-hand side of the automobile, which is the driver's side. And you start looking at all the little buttons and things in here, like the switches, the handle, the mirror, the door, or this space here for storage. Everything, as we know, has a name. Right here is the vents and many other things. And of course, this is a road that we always need to go on when we get in the car. Okay, a glove compartment. It's on the passenger side usually, and right over there is the airbag. Usually over, in older models there's usually only 2, but now the cars have many airbags that they come out when you have an accident, which hopefully never happens, but they have them lined alongside the doors as well. So here's the airbag, and there's another one here, and of course on the side. Now the interior of the front of the car, where the driver's side is, has the steering wheel. This is called the steering wheel, and these new models of course have a lot of buttons that you control many things from here, like the radio. And this board, the whole thing in front, is called the console. the console. Here's the glove compartment, the airbag, and the air vents, the speakers for the radio, and right here is also the monitor or screen to see all the different controls that you have. The newer the car, the more of these type of things you'll have. It's so digital, it's so touch nowadays that it gets more and more perhaps complicated. And of course, to repair, you need experts to repair. Of course, right here you have the speedometer, and here you have the transmission. This is automatic transmission, and then of course there's the manual transmission, which we don't have too many of in this country. When you have the different shifts, here is very easy. The automatic transmission has the P for park, the R for reverse, the N for neutral or idle, the D for drive, and then some others may have for economy or another gear perhaps, depending on the engine of the car. Remember the engine? Okay. So here you have controls for the air, for the radio, the horn, the mirrors, the two side mirrors. Here you control from here, and you also have the rear view mirror, very, very important, which is right above here on the roof, on the top of the mirror of the windshield, which is in front of the car, the glass right here, the windshield called, okay? Don't forget the signals. Right here, there's these bars that come out on both sides that are signals. To make a left, to make a right turn, you always should use the signals. Okay, let's look at other things. A small car, of course, would have a small trunk. This is pronounced trunk. Trunk is the back of the car. This is a large trunk. You put the seats down and it becomes larger. You can put more things in here. It's usually an SUV or just a bigger van. Another word for a bigger car is a van. The back of the car, of course, has lights in the front and the back. They have lights and bumpers in the front and the back also. Okay, this must be remembered. You need sometimes to know how to fix your flat tire. It is important for you to know because you never know when it can happen unless you have a service that you bring and you call, but you might have to wait a long time, like AAA. This item right here, it's called a jack. So this lady is fixing a flat tire with a jack. Not a common thing, and for people that do not speak English, they need to know all these terms. Flat tire and this jack, okay? Also, very, very important, you need to watch your speed. Why? Because you get a ticket. You get a violation. It's also called a citation. All of those things means the same. You have to pay a fee for speeding or for doing other things that you are not supposed to do on the road. Okay, so be very, very careful. Driving is a huge responsibility. We don't realize how important it is to drive defensively, carefully. There's a lot of cars on the road and people are not careful, especially nowadays when you have the cell phone in one hand and the steering wheel in another. And I think we're all guilty. We're all guilty of that. So having said that, I hope you learned something today, because this is something that we all need to know. Parts of an automobile, especially when you go to a mechanic. Thank you very much for watching us, and we look forward to the next time. Bye-bye.